Let's talk about butter. For years now, butter has been praised, it's been vilified, then reinvented with all sorts of healthy sounding alternatives. But the truth is that not all butters are created equal. Now, some might actually help support your health, while others may be doing hidden damage to your gut, your waistline, and even your heart. So today I'm going to break down what we know about butters, the worst butters you can buy, potentially the best butters you can buy, and whether all the hype about butter being the greatest superfood of all time is true or not. Let's break it down. Well, let's get rid of a category right away. The worst butters. If you see a package of a hardened fat in the dairy section, and it says words like, I can't believe it's not butter, or vegan butter, or high polyunsaturated vegetable spread, put it down. These are manufactured primarily out of mostly soybean oil, maybe corn oil, maybe cottonseed oil, maybe linseed oil. I could go on with the oils. They are hardened by partially hydrogenating these oils to solidify them at room temperature. They don't have to put on the label trans fats, but in the process of hardening these oils, trans fats are created. But the very hydrogenation of these oils make them not the wonders of nature that it looks like they are. Many of them are processed, contain chemical additives, or had solvents used to actually extract the oil from these various seeds. And they've got a lot of interesting colors and flavorings that aren't exactly all natural. So it's not a true food. Just avoid these entirely. Now, a lot of times we start seeing grass-fed butter. Now, it is true that you are what you eat, but you are what the thing you're eating ate, which is actually the more important. So let's suppose you've decided, after listening to all this, that butter might be useful for you to include in your diet. Where the cow ate is important. What the cow ate is important, and who the cow is equally important. So cows that eat grass, their natural food, do produce more short-chain omega-3 fats, the healthy omega-3s. They do produce more of what's called GLA, conjugated linoleic acid, CLA, and they do produce more vitamin E. That's where kind of that yellow color comes from often. So then if a cow is fed grains and soybeans. Having said that, they also produce a protein in their milk called casein. Now, cows up until 2,000 years ago made casein A2. Now, our cows, the Holstein cow, the black and white cow, makes casein A1. And all butters do have some residual casein. Casein A2 is actually a friendly casein for most people, but casein A1 is mischievous for a great number of people. So knowing who your cow is, the breed of cow, is equally as important. Now, the good news is Southern European cows still make casein A2. So cows from France, cows from Italy, cows from Switzerland, and most Southern German cows are casein A2 producers. However, most Northern European cows, like Ireland, like England, like Scandinavia, and most of our cows are casein A1 producing cows. That makes a difference. As I like to joke, one of the most popular grass-fed butters out there has a picture of a black and white cow on its label, and that's a Holstein cow. That's not what you're looking for. You're actually looking for a Guernsey cow, or a Swiss brown cow, or a Belgian blue cow. It's the same cow. That makes a difference. If you want to avoid that, then grass-fed ghee is your best option. Ghee has all of those proteins separated out. So if you're worried about the breed of cow, get yourself grass-fed ghee. But hold on. It also depends on what animal's milk you're going to use to make the butter. The good news is that goats and sheep and water buffalo all make casein A2. And additionally, sheep and goats, about 30% of all the fat in their milk is medium chain triglycerides, MCTs. So if you can find it, I highly recommend getting grass-fed goat or sheep butter. And it is now available. And it doesn't taste goaty or sheepy. And use that. Also, you can find water buffalo butter. I much prefer those butters for their medium chain triglyceride content than even ghee from a grass-fed cow. So that so far is your best butter. Now, how about all the butyrate in butter? Butyric acid. And yes, butter is named for butyrate, or butyrate is named for butter. The debate goes on. But butyrate, as you know, is one of the holy grails of short-chain fatty acids. These short-chain fatty acids are incredibly important for mitochondrial health, for brain health, but probably most importantly, the cells that line your colon, your large intestine, 80% of their nourishment comes from butyrate. In other words, they don't need oxygen, they don't need food, they don't need protein, carbohydrates. They need butyrate as their fuel. That's how important butyrate is. Now, butyrate is normally made by bacteria in the fermentation of fibers. And that's why, believe it or not, butyrate is present in butter, because it was present from the fermentation of all those grasses that the cow was eating. And so it is present in butter. And you go, great, I'll eat my butter and get my butyrate. Nope, not so fast. As I mentioned, butyrate has to be used by your colon cells. And here's the problem. You could eat all the butyrate in the world, and it will never get down to your colon where it's supposed to be. It will be broken down into other substances long before it gets to your colon. That's why some of us, like here at Gundry MD, encapsulate butyrate into a form that will not be released until it gets to your colon. And it's in my product BioComplete 3, and it's also in my product Active Biome. It's that important that butyrate gets to where it's supposed to go. So go ahead and put butter in your coffee, but please don't think that the butyrate is going to get to where it's supposed to go. It doesn't work that way. I'm sorry, it doesn't. So don't get butter to get the butyrate. Now, salted versus unsalted butter. My mother used unsalted butter all of my life because she was a Julia Child fan. And Julia Child used unsalted butter. And that's fine. Get yourself unsalted butter. One benefit of unsalted butter is that you can then add iodized sea salt, or now iodized Himalayan salt, to your cooking to get the saltiness where you want it. Most of the salted butter that is available, tastes better, but they're not using iodized salt. So it's a way to control the amount of iodine that you're getting in your diet. And most of us don't get enough iodine. Are there dairy-free alternatives to butter? Well, absolutely. In the Mediterranean countries, in the south of the Mediterranean, places like the south of France, Italy, Greece, Portugal, where I frequent, butter is incredibly unusual. And olive oil is the butter of those regions. Same with Morocco, where my olive oil comes from Gundry MD. Olive oil is used in the place of butter in almost all the dishes. So Olive oil, to me, you're looking for an oil for delivery device. And olive oil is a delivery device for polyphenols. Butter, on the other hand, yeah, you might get some MCTs. Yeah, you might get a few omega-3 fats. But as a delivery device, olive oil is vastly better. There are avocado-based spreads, like avocado-based mayonnaise, which is definitely better than regular mayonnaise. Just read the label. A lot of these spreads sound intriguing, but they're usually cut with a lot of other interesting, weird oils. The big takeaway on this, yeah, butter is not butter is not butter. If you really want the quote health benefits of butter, you're best off with grass-fed ghee. On the other hand, goat butter, sheep butter, water buffalo butter will give you MCTs that you won't get from cow-based butter. And that, to me, is well worth looking for it. It's now in a lot of the specialty stores. So sheep, goat, water buffalo butter, number one on my list. Grass-fed ghee, number two on the list. Please stay away from, I can't believe it's not butter, because you better believe it's not butter. More amazing episodes just like this one. Watch now. Taking MCT oil while you're fasting is a great way to extend your fasting window and calm any cravings that you may be having.